Heyo everybody, Haku here with the finale for Kubera Season 2. We have Season 2 episodes 178, 179, 180, and the Afterword. I don't know if the Afterword will also have an Afterword, also have a blog post, but we'll read each chapter, we'll read the blog post or Afterword for each chapter, and yeah, then we'll be done with Season 2. So I am extremely excited to see where we go from here. The last segment with the Asha chapters was amazing, and this is kind of our big climax, our big finale. And I've heard that season 3 feels like almost a completely new story, like there's a big shift. So I'm just wondering, this feels like season 1 and 2 kind of felt sort of like season 1, because everything that we're dealing with now is the climax, is stuff that we've built up for the entirety of season 1 and season 2. And when I think about the end of season 1, beginning of season 2, it kind of just feels like the end of an arc, beginning of an arc, kind of like any of the others in season 2 so far. So honestly, this is kind of the ending to our first big saga, our first big season, really. Seasons 1 and 2 kind of fit together narratively, it feels like to me. And I guess we're just going to have a big sort of wrap up for a lot of this stuff and move to season 3. And with what's happening, there's some big universal stuff at play. My thoughts, my predictions on how this may go is like, I don't know what's more likely. So either Asha does get the Ananta powers and becomes arguably the strongest being in the universe, the Ananta. So Ananta could become a thing, or Lise gets the powers by either killing Asha, like maybe she doesn't stay away, she goes in and kills Asha with the Sword of Return. Maybe Lise gets the powers. And then what's the deal with Lila? Lila would also have the Kubera name. And also God Kubera is still around, so I don't know how that affects things either. So, Lise could kill Asha, or Asha could make some sacrifice, finally make a good decision, and I don't even know if it would be a good decision. Maybe giving Lise the power would just make her suffer even more. So I have no idea, actually. And then season 3, either Asha could be this big bad force of nature that Lise has to eventually find a way to defeat, or Lise has this power, and now Lise is having to deal with Shuras and gods on a grander scale, and maybe that's what season 3 is about. So, I don't know what's more likely. Does Asha get the power and become a sort of main antagonist for the future, or does Lise get the power and the future is about her having to deal with the consequences of having that power? And then I think those are the two most likely. Then it would be neither of them get the power because God Kubera or Vishnu has some grand scheme that they're like, aha, you fell for the plot, and actually this is what I was trying to do. They could come in with something like that, or maybe they do still get the power, and that's just part of the grand scheme that's going on. So Vishnu or God Kubera could pull out some like crazy, aha, this was all Keikakudori. That could happen, I could imagine. Or the least likely scenario is Ananta actually gets revived as Ananta. Sagara gets her way. That is the least likely way that I see it going. Because I guess either way Ananta's getting revived, right? It's just that Ananta's not really getting revived as Ananta. Either way, Ananta, the name, the power, the existence, is going to be coming back in a way, it seems. But either way, also, after I read the finale to season 2, I talked a bit with, I mentioned it last week and then read comments and everything. I talked a little on Discord, and I think that what I'm going to do is, I mentioned I don't know what I would do about a character ranking because I don't really know what my thoughts are now. Here, I don't know if one was a video, one was a stream, or if they were both streams, but I did character rankings twice before, so I've already done character rankings like as a tier list. So that's something that I've just already done. It doesn't even feel like it's been that long since I did the last. It has been quite a few months, but I also don't feel like my opinions, I don't know how much they've changed for a tier list. So I think it would be a good idea to do things differently. Pate Ordeal, a longtime supporter of the channel, has graciously put together the list of character names for me and given it to me and everything. So some of the characters, even including just random background characters, so I might not include all of them. I'm thinking I'll do a character ranking from my least to most favorite. Just a straight up thought out character ranking with images edited in. I'll take notes for it, do them worst to best. So it might take me a couple of weeks to do that. I'm probably going to take notes, this week after doing this video. But I think I'll do a video like that for Kubera. Just, least to most favorite here at the end of Season 2. A big project like that. I love doing stuff like that, so I think it'd be very, very fun. It's just that when I do it, be warned, I might not include every single, random background character who did nothing. And that also kind of includes some of the gods, because if it's technically, I don't know, Indra or something, if it's technically in this panel in Season 1, we saw Indra just in a random panel showing off the gods. If they haven't done anything or said anything, I might not include them in the ranking, but I will make a ranking video. That's what I'm going to do here to celebrate the ending of Season 2. So I'm going to start work on that after doing this video, and it'll probably take a few weeks. Again, I'm not planning to take that long on it. Hopefully it won't take that long. But while I work on it, I don't know if I'll just go ahead and start Season 3 next week, or if I'll take a week off and then start Season 3 the week after next. I don't know which I'll do, because really, once I take my notes and stuff, and my opinions are already kind of set in stone for making the video and everything, then starting reading Season 3 isn't really going to be that big a deal. So if I can get it out so quick as to even maybe do the video by next week or the week after next, maybe I'll take next week off and just use my normal Kubera time to work on that. Or maybe I'll just start Season 3. We'll see how quickly that video is coming along and then decide. But I did want to say that before starting. Is there anything else, since we're doing a long Haku intro? I said my predictions for what we're going to get in the finale. I mentioned what we're going to be doing once the finale's over in terms of starting Season 3 and doing a special video. I think that's about it. So either way, let's start reading Chapter 178. Season 2, Episode 178 starts with this purple screen. Two people kept appearing in turns in my dream that repeated for ages. It may have been a dream, but nothing went according to my will. There was nothing special about it. It was just a repetition of the things that I actually experienced. Listen well, kid. I've come to kill you. But after checking out your potential, I have decided to let you live. However, the road you take will make you regret that you didn't die today. So I will let you choose your path. Will you choose to live a desperate life full of regret? Or will you take the easy way out and choose to die here? It is interesting to me that God Kubera came to kill her. Did he come to kill her because Asha spared her and let her live? Because it feels like from the investigation that Saha was doing, that the Kuberas dying were basically, I guess some had to have died in the Red Sky incidents, right? But it seemed like the ones we really know of were Asha's doing. So maybe it was Asha and the Red Sky incidents, but maybe because Asha spared her and the Red Sky that destroyed her village didn't kill her, then that means... I'm thinking about something else now, sorry. Then that means that's why Kubera came to kill her himself? But what I was just thinking of, what just clawed its way into my head, is her village still had 0 deaths recorded, right? So there is still the chance that rather than being killed, the Red Sky incident just warped them somewhere instead, warped them to the Shura realm or something instead. Or there's the chance that they specifically were saved by some quirk of fate. I'm not sure. I don't think Asha would have had something to do with it. It doesn't seem like Asha's that far, that Asha would somehow be able to save her village or something. That just doesn't fit with Asha's character that we've seen here. There was something else I was thinking that could have been at play, but now I lost my train of thought. In my opinion, I don't think it's such a bad decision for you to die here. I was thinking, so if the Red Sky incident doesn't kill them and it just teleports them somewhere, Then Asha's mom's body was just teleported somewhere else and her head got left behind. Sorry. In my opinion, I don't think it's such a bad decision for you to die here. Compared to when I first asked you the question, you have even more reasons to live now. But if you decide to live based on those couple of reasons, for sure, you will regret that decision later. Haven't I told you already? There is no next time. This is the last. Huh? What? Really? Then this is it? It may not be the last, however. You'd better forget about me. Trust those who are by your side from here on out. Trust them, hold on to them, keep them by your side. The more the better. That way you will, even if I don't want to. So, he's saying, forget about me and trust the people by your side. I wonder if he's saying trust the people other than Asha, because then they'll give you a reason to keep living, or if he is saying to trust Asha when it comes to what to do with him. Then even if I don't want to, should I keep them by my side even if I don't want to? Should I just trust anyone? No, never mind. Just do as you please. Actions without your own will may bring an even worse outcome. Can I hold on to you, mister? You just said I should trust and hold on to as many people as I can. I want to hold on to you. So let's not say that this is the end. Come back and check whether I've grown stronger later. If you do so, I won't complain about you stroking my hair. I really loved showing us this scene again. This was really good. We have him now in his armor. Huh? The superior Shura that attacked your village was simply following his orders. He was the main instigator behind it. As soon as you see an opportunity, cut off his head with the sword of return, right away. No matter what happens, you must not hesitate. And I wonder if Gandharva and Marana were already working alongside him back in N5, and that's why the things were happening in Karte, because Vishnu and or God Kubera were already trying to manipulate things to a certain end, or if that was just, training day for Gandharva and Marana. Your planet got destroyed, sorry, we were just, training. Because I guess N5 was the deadline where Marana had to develop, right? So maybe Gandharva and Marana destroying Karte was a part of Marana's development. Hugh, this makes no sense. The real instigator behind the attack on my village. It would be 100 times better if you were on the same side as Asha, mister. There must be a reason, right? Like you got dragged all the way here when you have nothing to do with this. He kicks her away. I see. I saw that document too before too, when I met Mirha. There's no need for you to ask me anything. It's basically all true. Mirha's a very smart girl, you know. It was just wrong about one very important thing. The part about me letting you live because you could be valuable as a warrior. That was wrong, Lise. If I were to kill you, your power would become mine anyway. If you think about it, obviously it would have been much better for me to just kill you and take your power, rather than having to take you with me everywhere. But you happen to be Rao's daughter. Some ignorant, uneducated country bumpkin with the name Kubera, who wasn't even worth sparing. The only reason you were worth sparing was simply because you were Rao's daughter, with his name, Lise. I'll kill 100,000 people if it means that I can have the last laugh. That's my justice. But that isn't your justice. Sacrificing yourself for the greater good. Didn't you say that you didn't care about that kind of thing? Then obviously you should just stop arguing with me and help me kill that guy. Isn't that so? In the end, you failed. I knew this would happen. There was no chance of you going in there and succeeding anyway. Since the next best plan after you failed was far more likely to succeed. Wait, then why did you... To let you know your place. I'm trying to show you that you can't do anything properly, even when it's all prepared for you. I want you to realize even a little bit just how ridiculous it looked seeing you go on about getting revenge. Why is it my fault that you didn't have any vigor? It's your fault, for being so mentally weak that your vigor can drop, just from hearing a few words. I was going to just leave. But I'd better tell you this. About your dad, Rowley's. Everyone says he went missing, right? But he didn't. I know because I was the last person to see him on a transport ship coming here from Carte. What? I killed him, your dad. Your fate would completely change if your dad were alive, in the best way possible. Obviously, you should start without such an excessive advantage. It's no good if you're the only one living such a comfortable life, right? I can't believe you trusted me and followed me around without knowing that. It was really hilarious, Kubera Lees. She screams and wakes up. And we see behind her is the cloak. So is this actually potentially the future? And we're just skipping ahead. Lees did just go home. She went back to Zoe to munch on grass. Then, Part 2, Episode 178, The Things That Remain. That day was the last day I saw Asha, and she hasn't shown up since. I saw something flash at a distance as I screamed in Yuta's arms, and that flash came rushing over to where I was at an astounding speed. When I woke up, I was on the Arrow Plateau. They say that Yuta's the one who brought me here, so for now Yuta is safe. The date was long after that day, and at some point while I was unconscious, people had gone back to their daily lives. Okay, I actually really like this, because we can show what happened a bit later, but I love the mystery here of she was just unconscious for a while and she doesn't know what happened. And this is kind of like an epilogue, maybe. And then we just go into Season 3, hoping to find out more about what happened directly, and seeing what happens in the remnant of whatever great shift occurred. Okay. That's really cool. But there was a problem with that daily life. It may have seemed ordinary to other people, but it looked very strange to me. The sky is green now. We have special giant parfait, free if you can finish it by yourself. Mirha, listen to me for a minute. You were clearly at the trial, right? Yeah, that's right. Do you remember what you did at the time? How could I not remember that? I defended your guarantor. That's right, you defended Asha. We agreed up until here. Excuse me, could I get a separate bowl? Then Asha escaped. Asha hurt Saha and then came to me. Did Asha gain the, world-changing powers, the, godly powers of Anansha and change the world itself? Or maybe Vishnu has a role in it too, because Vishnu is the god of time and could maybe mess with timelines. This is really serious, Mirha. She got, third semester Persona 5'd? Asha's not the only culprit who did that to Saha, but she even has ties with the Shuras. Plus, wow, Lise, how did you eat this whole thing before? It's amazing even seeing it a second time. It's not that they don't remember. Judging from how everyone's resolving what happened that day, they must remember. But they don't care. About the golden scales that we saw in the sky that day, about the superior Shuras that were gathered near Rindhollow, even about Asha killing Saha. They're not remembering, but they're not thinking about it. Or, is it that Asha's... Okay, multiple potential ideas here. Is it that Asha manipulated and changed the world? Is it that Asha prevents them, now that she has godly power, somehow prevents them from caring about it? Or is that they're choosing it? They're everybody else has moved on, this is the world, this happens. But Lise is the one who's still hung up on it because she was so emotionally invested. I mean, that doesn't seem super likely that everybody else would just stop caring about it. They remember, but they're not thinking about it. It's a godly item that you have to have triple revival attributes to wear. As far as I know, there's the only item among that kind of items... Hold on. The only item among that kind of items is one you wear on your head. It's probably... Stop it. Seriously. Then I'm just worried. You can't hide it forever because you're embarrassed, right? Why don't you worry about Cossack having gone missing instead of worrying about that kind of thing? Why would I worry about that? Okay, so Cossack's gone missing too. Cossack potentially... We know Cossack last time we saw was pushing some Fadi into the Crescent Gate. So maybe both Samfati and Cossack are still like trapped in the realm of the Crescent Gate. And the Crescent Gate might take you through the Shura realm because it was full of Taraka Shura. So maybe there's just been, this huge surge of a bunch of Taraka Shura in the Shura realm or whatever. Or maybe it's just, it takes you toward that area of the Shura realm and both of them ended up over there. Then all people talked about was the transcendental energy that attacked the city and Cossack's disappearance. No matter how much I tried talking about the Golden Scales, or Asha, it was no different than shouting at a wall. And I think maybe Golden Scales, they're mentioning the portal. And then Agni, Priestess Brilith. Lise. Who? Priestess, don't you remember me? Before, in Atera. Brilith is just a bit sick. Brilith, why don't you go inside and rest a bit? I'm not sick, though. What? Or what about Asha? Do you remember Asha? And okay, so maybe as a god, Agni remembers, but maybe the humans are being affected. I was with Asha and Atera, and maybe because Lise has the, name of a god, the power of a god in her, she also gets to not be affected. So maybe there's only a few people, maybe Lila, because of also having the name Kubera. Maybe Lila, Lise, Agni, they're some of the only few that remember here. I was with Asha and Atera. We spent almost a month at the temple. You said that you were an old friend of Asha's and that you'd even taken a magic exam together. Lise, stop it, enough of that. Don't you find it strange, Agni? Right now everyone is strange. Asha was the talk of the town during the trial just recently, but now everyone's trying not to think of Asha at all. Whenever I mention her, everyone ignores me and changes the subject. Even Saha. It's absurd to say that Saha just passed away in a mysterious attack. I heard it straight from Asha's own mouth. The one who killed Saha is... And then Brilith starts screaming. Brilith, calm down, Brilith. It's okay. There's nothing wrong. You're safe here. What's suddenly gotten into the priestess? Lise, I'm sorry, but I'd like you to leave. What? I can buy you as many mushroom skewers as you like, but I don't want to hear about that. So don't bring that up here again. Or maybe Asha's just so powerful now as basically a godlike existence that they're scared if they think anything negative about Asha that she'll just smite them. Is this your first time in Eloth? I should have shown you around before. I have no idea what the person who was with you has been doing with you aside from constantly shooting off her mouth and nagging at you. Then, can you talk about it? Ron, can you talk about Asha? Huh? About who? What did I say? Anyways, the door to the Creation brand wouldn't be open at this hour, so for now let's head to my brother's place. My brother's super busy lately. It's like they somewhat remember, but not fully, because the trial was... I think Agni remembers, he's just trying to protect Brilith. Brilith, it seems like, is traumatized by what Asha did, Asha's betrayal, and maybe that's part of what's going on with Brilith. But it seems like Mirha remembers partially, the trial, but not everything. Again, Ron mentions, he knows that Lise was traveling with someone, and the person that she was traveling with was just nagging at her and being mean to her. But it seems like maybe he doesn't get all the details. What are you here for? I thought you would be busy preparing for the wedding. We're having the wedding in Misty Shore, but it would be better to get the stuff for the wedding in Eloth. And since you're busy lately, I thought I would stop by to help you, too. I feel a bit bad for you being buried in work like that while your little brother's getting married first. Stop getting on my nerves and just sit down there. The best way for you to help me is by doing nothing. So harsh. I'm still a double A, You think I can't even handle one little document? And we have something of competition, private academies, standards involving intermediate status in the academy, maybe? Curriculum, and a proposal for improving the status curriculum. This document isn't really my style. It's not that I can't read it, it's just not my style. Lisa's face. Where's the secretary when there's so much work to do? She's taking a vacation for a while. She said she needed some time to cool down. Someone else is acting as the manager of the Magicians Union. And as for a personal bodyguard, well, there's no one to protect now. The longer the lifespan of a creature, the slower its love grows cold. According to that, Tilda must be suffering more than anyone right now, since she'll have to spend a lot more time thinking only one person who's left first. Or thinking about the person who left her first, I'm assuming. What do you mean? Are you saying she liked Saha? But that's not true. It seems to me she'd prefer... I've been at Tilda's side for a lot longer than you have, so I know her much better. In the 35 years that she's been with Saha, she's always been impervious to even the most attractive guy. Are you talking about Saha? I know who killed Saha. It was Asha. Asha told me to my face that she did it. Why aren't you investigating this? I've heard there were a ton of security cameras on the Heavenly Tower. I'm sure there must be evidence if you search a bit. Why aren't you looking for Asha, even if she's escaped from prison? Anyway, we can't just sit around feeling sad about Saha's death. There's the problem of finding someone to replace Saha's empty place right now, but just the fact itself that we lost such a fair and overwhelmingly talented leader, there's no denying there will be power struggles among the factions of the magicians on this planet. Will that really happen with Agni and Chandra around? The gods are the ones with the actual power, even if magicians do fight among themselves. Everyone completely ignores me whenever I mention anything about Asha. And we have the files concerning Asha Rahiro. Excuse me, can I look at this? Lise, you can't just pick up whatever you like. It could be a secret document for my brother. It's okay. Those are just some useless files that were on Saha's desk. You can look at them if you like, but there's not much to see. See, principle of 3 unsettled pieces of evidence disappeared with Hoti Vishnu. Route to obtaining the ticket for the transport ship. This can't be. These seem extremely important, even at a glance. Do they not even care about records when it comes to Asha? Anyway, I can't believe this was all on Saha's desk. Since long ago, Saha has been missing for 3 years since N12. The reason that people forgot about Asha Rahiro's existence at the time, to be continued. Oh, right at the end, Asha was going to blow up the car and use Hoti Vishnu at the time. And everyone forgot about Asha the last time she disappeared using Hoti Vishnu, right? So she might be doing the same thing. And I don't remember, did she actually disappear? Or was she there, just nobody remembered her for a certain amount of time? So maybe with blowing up the car and using this is the same thing that happened before, where her existence went missing for 3 years, but I think this time it's supposed to go missing for longer, right? And Lise would have to solve this quickly because Lise's lifespan isn't crazy long, yeah? Very good chapter, though. I love, like I mentioned, all the references that it's similar to. She got Infinite Tsukiyomi. Or like she didn't, everyone else did. Okay, so it seems like, again, she used it and it affected basically all the humans. I think it's not affecting Lise because of the power of the god's name, and I think any other gods won't be affected. Like Chandra will remember, Agni will remember, even though Chandra wasn't that, connected with what was going on. And then Lila, because she summoned Chandra and also has a god's name, I think Lila could potentially remember. So Lise might need to work with Lila here, or even Lise might need to work with some unexpected allies. Like if the Ananta revival plan was a scam to give the power to Asha, and Asha does have the Ananta powers, Sagara might be like, okay, I need people who remember what's going on. We need to fix this. Like Sagara could want to go after Asha or whatever. Okay, very, very good chapter, though. One of the best chapters in the series, I would say. Absolutely nailed it. I know there was a long intro, but even with the long intro, that was well over 20 minutes of reading. This might turn into an insanely long video. Very good stuff. Let's go read the afterword before continuing, though. The afterword this time says, the dreaming part is essential to the story, so I included a fairly long flashback. I think the inclusion of the flashback was very good here. Even if you just look at the amount of time from the end of the flashback scene to the time after waking up from the dream, it's longer than the average length of one of my webtoons. So it's not that the amount was reduced because of the flashbacks, but rather that the amount was added to the normal amount of the flashbacks. Then what on earth is under Rana's hat? In fact, the silhouette of this item appeared somewhere in a webtoon. This is a very strong hint. I thought this looked similar to the hat that Lise wore when she was in her adult form, but I don't think she would have to wear a hat to hide that. What would be under the hat? Because she has a, gosh, I don't remember what was happening at the very end with Rana there. Rana has a god item, though, right? That's what the hat is hiding? So I wonder what the god item is. Like cat ears. What Brilith is wearing now is not an official priest uniform, but rather a magical uniform. It's something she's wearing temporarily. Then I don't know how long it's been since I last drew Lisa's expression like that. No, it feels like it's been a really long time since I've been in a situation where I'm joking. People are asking when the Kubera 6th anniversary event will be held, but I can't think of any events yet. I'm screwed. I wonder if they'll be holding the 6th anniversary event on the 7th anniversary. Empathy 279. One of the best chapters in the series, potentially the best. Time to go read 2 more. I'll be real with you, there is a part of me that really wanted to just be like, okay, you get a 30-minute video for this one chapter, and then just call it for now. But I am definitely going to continue to see what happens for the rest of this, because I just feel like I just got blasted with so much information, so much going on. I am like, ooh, I almost feel a little bit tired. So, we continue. The Hoti Vishnu penalty is, that I saw in Saha's records. Long ago, Asha once used that penalty to disappear for 3 years, and at the time, just like now, nobody paid attention to Asha. In spite of the fact that she was the most noticed person on the planet for being an A++ rank, and her trial for accidental manslaughter, after she disappeared, her very presence itself disappeared completely. It says that even Saha, who performed the investigation, didn't pay attention to Asha for those 3 years. It's not that they couldn't remember Asha, but for some reason, they were just refusing to think about her. Okay, actually, this is cool. So last time it happened, even people with the god's name didn't remember, but Lise remembers. So it's either now that the power of the god's name has gotten so concentrated and so strong because she's one of the only few left, or it's potentially because of some of the special god class items she has, like the cloak or the bracelet. The cloak would make sense too because it's Kali related, right? Or Kali related. Okay, it's not that they couldn't remember Asha, but for some reason they were just refusing to think about her. It's the same now. Asha is someone who was sentenced to death during the Grand Magician's Conference, and yet no one cares that someone like that has vanished. How could I not remember that? You defended your guarantor. Oh, is it that her name vanished? Because they said guarantor, the person who was with you. I have no idea what the person who was with you has been doing with you aside from constantly shooting off her mouth and nagging at you. Judging from our conversations, they definitely do remember Asha. Wow, Lise, how'd you eat this whole thing before? About who? What did I say? But as soon as the focus turns to Asha, that's when they stop thinking about it. Then, Asha will be gone for 3 years again this time. I don't know about that. The number of years may not be predetermined. Asha could be gone for longer than that if she wants. As Hotiyama revealed, Asha's remaining lifespan is very short. If she's able to choose how long she's gone for, she would rather stay missing for as long as possible and return at a decisive moment than come back early and waste the rest of her life. Asha's goal has never just been to eliminate the Shuras. Her killing Saha wouldn't make sense if that was her goal. Why do you try so hard just to boost your power? You could have cooperated with Saha. If you had told Saha about this plan of yours, he would have cooperated with you. Why'd you have to go so far as killing someone? If I had done that, then it wouldn't have been me who wins in the end. I only have one intermediate goal in common with you. My ultimate goal and the values that I'm willing to forsake in order to achieve it are all different. You may not care if you die for someone else's sake, but I do. I have a goal that goes beyond mere revenge, and in order to achieve it, I only have to survive until the very end. The fact that she disappeared after saying that, means that she'll return someday in order to fulfill her goal. Or maybe season 3 is going to be about Lee's preparing for Asha's return. She'll definitely come back, and when she does, you may be the same, but I'll be different. Then, Things That Remain, Part 2. We see a red sky and a slash through the mountain. The Sword of Return only returns to its place when its owner dies. Of course, all its previous owners have died, and it can't be given to anyone else, while the current owner's still alive, so it's impossible to transmit the method of using Transcendental Skill. You have to learn to use it on your own. Judging from how Yuta is able to hold the sword, he must know how to use the Transcendental Skill. But Yuta's on Asha's side. There's no way he'd teach me how to use a Transcendental Skill so that I could kill Asha. I thought about why only I escaped from the Hoti Vishnu penalty. Is it because I hate Asha so strongly? Probably not. Asha's killed so many people, there must be a lot of people who hate her even more than I do. It's probably just... And then Yuta shows up, biting his lip and crying. Because of Yuta. Because Yuta excluded me from the influence of that magic. That's the only explanation. But why? If only I were able to stop caring about Asha like everyone else, it would have been a bit easier to bear. Did Yuta want to make me suffer more? Or... She reacts and turns back to see him here in the present. Hey Yuta, the way that you suddenly appeared behind me like that, I thought you were trying to kill me. Do you not like me training? Does it bother you that I want to kill Asha? Then you could have just let me forget about Asha like everyone else. That's all you had to do. And he writes down, I came to take the Sword of Return. Ah, she starts laughing. Seriously? This is hilarious. Leaving me with my resentment for Asha and taking away my power to get revenge. It's not that, it's just... And she cuts through his paper before he can continue. I've had enough of you toying with me. What's wrong with you? Seriously, what's your problem? And she throws the sword down. Fine, take it. Take all of it. Take the Sword of Return. Take the Hide of Bondage. And... don't you need my body, huh? Take my body since you wanted to eat it so badly. Why? What's the matter? You don't want it now? I'm not even worthy of being your food? Or wait, you're not going to lie to me and pretend we're friends again now, are you? I don't believe you. I can't believe you. If you really thought of me as a friend, if those smiles for me were genuine, you shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have done that. If you had thought even a little about my feelings, you couldn't have done that, Yuta. Human beings are not okay simply being alive. She turns away. Go. Take the Sword of Return and the Hide of Bondage. Just go and don't come back again. Please. Please don't go. And that's what he can tell from the insight. He turns back. Don't go. Don't leave. Stay by my side and listen to me. Don't ignore me. Don't push me away. All you have to do is listen to me. Please? And his heart beats. And he feels the edgelord within. And stops himself. You see the Hide of Bondage? He puts it back on. I told you to go, didn't I? And the Hide of Bondage can maybe protect her from him. Sorry. I'm sorry, Lise. Please hate me for only being able to do this much. Hate me for not being able to protect you. From being able to protect you from being hurt completely. What do you mean? This is the best that you can do? Do you think I'm going to soften up because of an excuse like that? I won't, and I think he might be surprised that she's understanding him. I'm going to keep hating you. I'm going to hate you, Yuta. Bad, Yuta. You're so bad, Yuta. Lise, can you hear me? How? She's crying. Don't cry. Don't cry. I was wrong. It was all my fault. And she hugs him. His heart's pounding. And his mouth is bleeding from holding back. I still don't know the reason that I started hearing Yuta's voice that day. Later I found out about several cases where humans are able to hear Shura's voices, but I don't think that I belong to any of them, because above all, I couldn't hear the voices of any other Shuras at all except for Yuta. To be continued. Man, another really great chapter. I still don't really like the Lee's Yuta relationship very much, but very good chapter. So, either way, lots to talk about, lots to think about. That one I feel like was more just reading heavy than the first one. But either way, let's go check out the Afterword. The Afterword this time says, "This episode is the first one that I had to edit, because it was restricted by Naver Webtoon while serializing Kubera. I didn't know this would be a problem, since it's a scene that would normally appear in a single-volume comic book without any problem. Since webtoons are more accessible, they're bound to be stricter than comic books. Therefore, you can check the original content of this episode later in the volume." Okay, so I wonder if in the volume, maybe Lise just did have her shirt off instead of just being in a bra at the end. And it's a good thing Yuta's fast. Otherwise, then I took off the binding clothes, but the arm warmers and the top I was wearing were also gone. If you look at this, you can see how much of it's included in the height of bondage. Then the wearing process is as follows. However, it's not always worn in this armhole shape. Depending on the type of clothing Lise is wearing, it could be tied as a scarf. Look at the end of Part 2, Episode 140, when Lise wakes up from her bed. Okay, so the height of bondage can just take different forms for Lise to wear. Okay, Empathy 276, and we got one more chapter. So, I am very curious. Let's see how the season ends. The final chapter of Season 2 starts with, "Cossack is locked in another dimension?" Yeah, as you know, the things that disappeared along with Asha have all lost their presence with the people of the world. On the other hand, Cossack's disappearance and the transcendental skill that attacked the city have become big topics of discussion. So, this means that at least that Cossack and the Shura who attacked the city didn't disappear with Asha. So I looked around for traces of the superior Shuras and even went to see Agni while you were unconscious, trying to investigate as best I could. But at the moment, it doesn't look like even the gods are able to properly perceive things that have disappeared. Okay, never mind. Even the gods can't tell what's disappeared. And then we see Hura, Clope, and Cloche are still around. Because whenever I brought up Asha or the Anantas, he would talk about something else to change the subject. So I wonder then, Hura was saying, "Hey, listen to what I have to say," or whatever, and pulled away Cloche using Clope as bait. So maybe Hura got them out of the range of Asha's spell. So it seems like maybe Asha and Kasha and the Shura who attacked the city. Okay, so Cossack and Samfadi didn't disappear with Asha, but the superior Shuras that were all just standing around doing nothing during the conflict. So I guess Asha, God Kubera, Sagara, all of the Shuras that were just standing around doing nothing, they got, warped from existence for right now. And then, or, only Asha got warped from existence and the rest of them got blown up by the car. But Hura and Cloche were far enough outside of the radius to still be around. Because whenever I brought up Asha or the Anantas, he would talk about something else to change the subject. Did Agni get angry? Or did the priestess next to him get anxious after hearing what you said? There was a priestess next to him, but regular humans can't hear me. Right, I got confused for a minute, since I can hear you. But am I really hearing you with my ears? It feels like your voice is just ringing in my head. Yuta, I figured you would have an adult-sounding voice, like Ron, since you grew up so much, but you don't. Then male Shuras change their tone of voice drastically when they grow to stage 4. Until then, they sound just like boys. Anyway, so Agni didn't get angry at you? Yeah, he just changed the subject. Then it must have been because of the priestess at the time. I talked about Asha in front of that priestess before, actually. At the time she got anxious and Agni got angry, telling me not to talk about that. He got angry. I'm not sure why the priestess would be anxious, but humans lose energy when they get anxious, so a god who values the priestess's energy may react sensitively. Maybe don't talk about that just means something like don't talk about that or things that upset the priestess. Probably. I was wondering why on earth he would stop me if he knew all about it. So I think that Yuta thinks that Agni doesn't remember, but Agni might remember. Like, Lise might be putting together that Agni might remember. It's just that he is purposefully putting on this show to protect Brilith from it. Probably. I was wondering why on earth he would stop me if he knew all about it. There's no way. He wouldn't be so complacent if he knew about all this. He would have talked about it with you when the priestess wasn't with him. You may not know Lise, but he... And then we have the moment of those two together. He really thinks about you a lot. This all just happened when Asha disappeared. Yeah, I know. I can't do anything about it. But it makes me a bit sad to think that he's going to keep being like that for a few years. Okay, so maybe it is because he didn't talk about it in private with either of them. It is a situation where he doesn't remember. Okay. And now we have episode 180, The Things That Remain, Part 3. Anyway, so they told you about Cossack. Yeah, at least I was able to hear something about Cossack. They're sure that he faced off against a Rakshasa Stage 5 Shura in space. But they couldn't find him after that. But I think that Cossack couldn't defeat that Shura on his own. Still, if Cossack had lost, it would be strange for that Shura to have not done anything since then. The only option to consider is that Cossack used a transcendental skill called the Gate to the New Moon to... And I guess that's a different translation for... again, people said, the official translation is bad, or it gets bad, but still, gotta probably read the official translation. If I need to read others after reading this in the video, then, that's fair. But for the video, we're doing this. But, same deal. I mean, I guess Crescent Moon and New Moon are different, but still, Gate to the New Moon to drag that Shura into another dimension with them. It's been bothering me because I think I caught a glimpse of that place when I came to my senses that day. I don't know exactly what the Gate to the New Moon is. But anyway, so you're saying that Cossack is stuck in another dimension, and we have to save him, right? Yeah, there are two possibilities. Either that, or either the creatures in that dimension considered Cossack as an ally and fought on the same side as him, or they even saw him as food. There's a good chance that he's still alive if they perceived him as an ally. But I'm not sure. I can't guarantee it. What does he mean he can't guarantee it? Anyway, for now, I'm trying to remain hopeful. Cossack is an important person to the humans, but to me, he's also someone who knows some very important information. Oh yeah, because he had information on Kalavinka, who we still haven't seen here in the present. That's why I need the Sword of Return, since it's possible to split dimensions using the transcendental skill of the Sword of Return. So he knew about the sword's transcendental skill. He was just hiding it this whole time. Here, take it. You should have taken it when I gave it to you before. Why did you explain all of this to me? Because you look so stressed, Lise. About my behavior, that may have just looked like I simply took Asha's side. I have no idea how I should explain this to you. In fact, I even wondered whether you would be able to understand this even if I did explain it. You didn't tell me, because you thought I wouldn't understand? Well, you see, for example, Lise, what do you think about killing innocent people, for whom you don't have any particular hard feelings, for the sake of some goal? If you're talking about Asha, there's no need to ask. It's the absolute worst, need I say more? That's why it's hard to explain, since there's such a fundamental difference in our outlooks. Lise, to be honest, Asha may have killed countless humans, but I don't feel like that action is bad in itself. I was angry when I heard that she killed your father, but that was because he was your father. It angered me because it made you sad, not because I felt anything about the death of that person named Rao. I'm not able to feel emotions like that in the first place. There may be differences in the degree to which we feel things, but Shuras are almost all like this. We learn not to harm our fellow Shuras or our allies, but everyone just controls themselves for the sake of rules, to do as they're told to maintain order. And I don't think this is quite true. This might be like culturally what they're taught, but I think what we've seen from some of the Shura's is that they do really genuinely feel emotions and care, because why would Sagara love Ananta so much? Why would Guntarva be changing the way he is? Shura City is the Shura world. They've said Shura City for a long time, though, is a place where countless murders take place in a single day, either out of necessity or just for fun. It's very rare for a Shura to be able to give value to lives which have nothing to do with them. And even if they're born with such a heart, they fail to adapt to an environment where Shuras devour each other and eventually die out. Again, I think it is very much, Shuras are obviously, the demonic evil spirit sort of analog here in the world of Kubera, but I do think it is, though that is their natural state, I do think it is also very normal and possible for them to just feel positive emotions. You probably don't understand it all, right? That's why I didn't tell you. Then you'll feel more of a sense of distance from me the more you know about this kind of stuff. Above all, you'll be scared instinctively. That's obvious. That's why I thought that maybe it would be better to just hide it. But just know this one thing, Lise. You're special to me. I never once thought that it was enough simply for you to be alive. I wanted to protect you completely so that neither your body nor mind would get hurt. But this fight was too big and complicated for that. That may have only been a fight for revenge to you, but it's actually a tremendous fight, in which the most powerful beings in the universe are clashing with one another. There was no way for you to avoid pain unless you stepped back from this fight. And this seems to be, I'm thinking Kali, Vishnu, Gandharva, and God Kubera. There was no way for you to avoid pain unless you stepped back from this fight. And you may have felt betrayed by me in a lot of ways, but those were choices that I made carefully for your sake, Lise. Although Asha's behavior went far beyond my expectation, so I ended up hurting you so badly. It may sound like an excuse, but Asha's plan wasn't always like this. It looked to me like Asha chose to protect you. Plus, she was the person who knew the future the most accurately among all those involved in this fight. She knew the future. Does he mean that Asha was good at making predictions because she's so smart? Plus, there was also a god who guaranteed that staying... And again, I love Lee's getting all this information. This is really cool too. And the extra stuff we're getting as an audience. Plus, there was also a god who guaranteed that staying by Asha's side would be safest. That's why I thought that was the best thing for you, Lise, even though Asha's behavior was a bit strange. Now I'm not sure. In the end, they just hurt you and disappeared irresponsibly. Although you ultimately survived, this somehow feels wrong. So again, I wonder, like, God Kubera clearly set things up kind of with all three of them in a certain way. And I wonder what he was thinking in all of this. During that short time, you lost your liveliness and your smile. There must have been a better way than this, but why? Do you like it when I smile, Yuta? Yeah, I like it. I really like it. The only reason that I did as they said, instead of doing what I wanted in the first place, was because I figured that they would be better than a guy like me. But what's this? If you were going to get hurt anyway, no matter what, I should have just abducted you like I wanted to. Abducted? He's like, wait. I misspoke. I meant take you. I wanted to take you with me. I just thought about it. I would rather just run away from this fight if there was no way to avoid the pain within it. But then it seemed like you would never smile at me again, so I gave up on it. Not only would it be extremely dangerous, but you would definitely hate it. Let's go. Let's go together to that other dimension. You said we have to save Cossack, right? I like this. Going on the Save Cossack mission? This is fun. Why? Don't you want to go together? I thought you even wanted to abduct me. Now you've changed your mind? No, that's not the reason. For now, just stay back and listen, Lise. That place is extremely dangerous, so he's still trying to protect her, still doesn't want to take her. But I am excited to see she'll probably be like, no, we've got to go together. Hopefully she isn't getting Kyrie Kingdom Hearts. Hopefully they can go together then. and go for the mission here. Plus, once we cross over into that dimension, it's hard to return because of my mother. Your mother? You see the one who appeared in the waterway and attacked you? Wait, you mean that monster? Again, I love Lee's getting all this info. Wait, you mean that monster? I mean, that Shura? I'm sorry, actually. She did that because she wanted to take me away with her at the time. I know it's late, but I'd like to apologize on behalf of my mother. I see. So that's the kind of mother that you have. Of course the situation won't be like it was at the time. I can stop that. The problem is that my mother won't let me go. There's no way to beat my mother when it comes to interdimensional travel, so I'll just have to obtain cooperation from her using persuasion alone, but I'm not sure how long that will take. So I'm supposed to just wait for you, without even knowing when you'll return? This world doesn't... Sorry if you can hear my stomach growling this entire video. I am so sorry. It just keeps distracting me. Sorry, I feel like I had to say something. I've been trying to ignore it. This world doesn't want to think about Asha, who's behind the Shuras, or the golden scales that appeared in the sky on that day. There's no one to listen to me, or reminisce about what happened on that day, or worry about the future. Even Agni, who I thought would be okay. This is really important to me, but no one's interested. But you want me to wait here, in a place where no one listens to me. No matter how dangerous that place may be, it would still be better than here, Yuta, because at least at least there I have you to listen to me. I was about to say she would at least still have Yuta. She would at least have someone who knows things the way they are, the way they matter to her. She would still have friends here, but like the friends she has here aren't the ones she remembers. Like Ron with his mind being... Honestly, it's not that his mind's being controlled, he just can't remember. But in a way, it's like the universe is controlling its mind. It's his mind. It's not the full Ron. It's not the Ron that she knows. Like with Agni's reaction to her, it's not the Agni that she knows anymore. Same goes with Mirha. So, for now, it's not like she has the just real, unfiltered, unedited versions of them. So at least she would have Yuta, who she can confide in, and also they can maybe try to find a way to help everyone as they wait for Asha's return. Again, if Asha's return isn't so far in the future that it doesn't outlive Lee's, given that Lee's shouldn't have a crazy long lifespan. Unless maybe there's something that can be done about that. Because of God shenanigans. Okay, we have the gate opening. They won't be sad that I only left a letter, right? They'd probably try to stop me if I tell them. I want to stop you too, Lise. Even if I can overcome all of the other problems, there still remains the most important problem of all. I'm even more dangerous than the other Shuras there, and my mother? It may be tough, but it would be better to stay here and wait. Even if other people don't really listen to what you have to say, at least. That hurts the most, Yuta. She takes his hand. Ready? All right. Let's go. Then he bites his lip again. This is clearly going to be a painful time for both her and me. I thought about shaking off her hand and going alone, but I just couldn't leave her behind. Since she fears being left behind even more than death. Okay. Things that remain in next chapter, The Return. Is this going to be the return of everybody, including Anansha? Or is it just going to be, like, are we going to sort of skip over their journey between seasons? And it's going to be about everybody returning? Then, thank you for reading part 2 of Kubera this far. Next week will be behind-the-scenes stories about the characters and the afterword to part 2. Okay, before I continue on to read the afterword and to read that, this was an incredible finale. The finale killed it. That was amazing. That was so good. That was so good. Like, both characters were done really well. It was great seeing this information out in the open between them. It was amazing the information that we got to learn as an audience. Absolutely great. Just crushed it. Amazing. So either way, with that aside, this is going to be a long video. I'm recording it Tuesday, but I definitely don't think it'll be done until at least Wednesday. This is turning into a very, very long one. But either way, let's go check out the Afterword. The Afterword says, "This is the final episode of Kubera Part 2. Are you surprised?" Then there were even people who said they didn't understand why Brilith wasn't the main character, maybe? Brilith's role was originally to be somewhat of a lead role in Part 1. Okay, or why Brilith is one of the main characters, since there are multiple. And a supporting role in Part 2. From Part 3 onwards, it becomes clear that she's the main character. Then, if I'd written it down, I would have thought about it again and again and revised it. Then you can see the later stories of some of the characters you're curious about in the second part review. But even in the second half, there will be characters that are not mentioned at all. That's largely intentional in the story, so even if you ask me, I won't answer. Not that I forgot. Then I fixed the missing part of Yuta's thread. Thank you for letting me know. Then Empathy 296. Extremely good finale. Now I am excited to see the review and the afterword and everything, so I'm going to read that and end the video. Like I said, I already had the plans for season 3 and everything. So yeah, let's see what's next. So we start with the official afterword on Webtoons, and then I'm going to see what the part 2 review on Currygom's blog is after this. And I'll save the part 3. I almost thought maybe I should do the part 3 prologue here just to get excited for the scenes we see, but I actually think I'm going to hold off on it. I'm going to wait and do that for my first season 3 video. So we see, he said that he's met Chess before, right? Yeah, he said that he was in a Terra pretending to be a half-blood. Then leaving him aside for now, what happened to all of the others? We have Marina, Samfadi, Huda, Cloche, Clofe, all 4 of them are missing. And yet I have to stay here instead of going to look for them right now. They didn't even mention Sagara, Iriagara, and Pingara. I can't eat this crap. What kind of meal is this? He throws it down. Why don't you just try getting used to life over here? There are 2 5th-Zen gods on this planet. Plus, why'd Chandra have to be right next to Agni? They're the second strongest duo in the Divine Realm. And the first strongest is Agni plus Vayu, it says. For now, staying hidden and making sure no one sees you is the only way to survive. You may be able to adjust to this, but I can't. How do you expect me to wear clothes like these and eat vegetables while pretending to be a half-blood? Hey, your brother still hasn't finished his food? I left it with him because you said he knew how to work. But isn't he being a bit too lazy? Sorry, my brother isn't used to this sort of thing. Did you hear that? Start doing things properly, man. Don't just bum food off them. And he's getting even more pissed. Just wait. As soon as I find a way to get out of this situation, I'm going to start by destroying this farm that I can't stand. Then I'm going to turn that damn chef who's only giving me stupid vegetables into meat paste. Didn't I tell you? I've been in charge of helping in the kitchen since yesterday. And then the fear of realizing he was insulting Gandharva. Gandharva, please forget what I said just now. I misspoke. Gandharva, could you answer me? And now we have part 2 afterward. So we have even more epilogue. We have the, pained, collapsed from writing all of Season 2 Currygom. Hi there, everyone. Thank you for reading this far. This is the end of part 2 of Kubera. You could see it as the first half. In part 3, a bit of time will have passed. There's going to be a major difference in the positions of the main characters. You can see for yourself at the time how they change. Right. And there have been a lot of people asking whether parts 1 and 2 will be pay-per-view once part 3 starts. Since my comic's one where you won't understand a word of what's going on unless you reread the entire thing, there will not be any partial cost to read it. There is a chance that part 3 will be released under a different title instead of following part 2. I also plan, and we know that kind of wasn't, I don't think. We know that it's just called Season 3 here. I also plan on offering a preview service. And, what should I say? You must be getting sick of looking at this melted bear, right? Sorry, I just can't move right now. So I'll take a little rest with a low-quality comic. Whoa, Yuta, look at this. Some generous people sent me many clothes. It says they're all for me. Amazing, Lise, try them on. I'm sure everything must look good on you. But look at this. It says I can only wear 2 pieces of clothing. What should I wear? Only 2 items. For now, I'll choose one thing that I want to wear, and you can choose the other. Me? Yeah, one thing that I want to wear, and one thing that you want to see me wear. Let's do that. Something I want to see you wear. This one, or that one. She'll definitely slap me if I ask her to wear that. This is my only chance, so I have to think carefully so that I won't regret it. All right, I'll choose this one. I've been wanting to wear a princess-style dress like this for ages. See part 1, episode 1? I was going to say, is he going to be, like, agonizing over whether to, like, make her wear something fan-servicey, but then she's going to choose something even more revealing? But I guess not. Have you decided, Yuta? I should just choose something if you're having a hard time deciding. No, one sec. I choose this. Oh no, I unconsciously chose exactly what I wanted. What should I do? What if she thinks I'm a pervert? Alright, I'll try it on. Turn around for a second, Yuta. 5 minutes later. It's so hard to put this on. I can help you if you want. What? I didn't say anything, and he's digging into his knees. 10 minutes later. They are all done. Still, it's comfortable to move now that I've put it on. Look, Yuta, is it what you were imagining? And then we have, thanks to Evil Eye, and then DL censored for the clothing design. It is actually kind of cool, though. Quite cool. I love whoever made those clothes. All done. Now I'll put on the thing I wanted to try. I want to see you in this dress a little longer, though. Ta-da! Well, Yuta, this is what I chose. And we have... Okay, the joke kind of continues. It is kind of more revealing. Thanks to Rico, DL censored for the clothing design. I love whoever made these clothes, too. Alright, now that I've put on both things, I'm all done. Lise, can't you keep wearing them? No. Why not? It says here that it's too hard to keep drawing. True. Sorry for being this kind of artist, but it took me 8 hours just to draw those 2 panels of Lise wearing those 2 dresses. My hands are so slow. Anyway, I'm going to take a rest now, everyone, to make part 3 even better. During the break, I'm going to practice drawing high-quality action, catch up on working on the book, prepare for preview of part 3, and there are a lot of episodes that were deleted from part 2 because they slowed the story down, but I plan on working those into an audio drama. There were some people who asked me to summarize the story, but I recommend spreading the comic out before part 3 comes out. There's still a while before part 3 starts, so in the meantime you could reread it around 10 times. Don't throw rocks at me. And it looks like it's time to go now. Since there was a break between this and the part 3 preview, I'll wait and do part 3 preview next time. Thank you again to everyone who's read this far. I'll see you all again in an even better part 3 of Kubera. Well, until we meet again, stay healthy. And now we have Shess, Lenny, and Agwen after Cossack's disappearance. We have Teo. And I think that's Agwen again? Or is that Brilith this time? Might be Brilith, yeah. The Mirha. Oh, they're maybe all getting the letter from Lise? And maybe Agwen's reaction is learning what happened to Cossack and that they're going after Cossack? And maybe this is Mirha getting the letter? Kubera Season 3 to be continued 2017. Okay. Very good. Very good chapter. So good. Loved it once again. I had a ton of fun with it. I think this finale has been amazing. And lastly, I want to go see what the review is really quick. Is this the same thing? I don't know. I want to go see what that is on the blog really quick, and then I'll wrap up with the outro and everything. This does have its own afterword. There were people who asked if I threw away the baby clothes. I didn't throw them away. Then a strong but lazy worker. Why aren't the other Shuras even in my sight aside from some Fadi? Hura, Cloche, and Clope. Why? Then we have, this is the winning entry from the Lise dress-up event, the winner announcement, and we have a link to the blog. This is a design submitted by Evil Eye, who won the I Want to See This Clothes award, and Reiko, who won the I Want to Wear This Clothes award. We originally planned to make the original submissions public, but since some people didn't want them to be made public, we decided not to make them public at all. It's okay if the winners reveal it personally. I mean, I won't reveal it separately on my blog. Then Kubera Part 3 is scheduled for spring 2017. The exact schedule is not known yet. It may not even be a Tuesday webtoon. During my hiatus, my activities are firstly the audio drama, secondly the Kubera volumes, especially because the volumes are so backlogged. Of course, I also need to create a preview of Part 3, and I need to study the chronic action issues. I have a bad feeling I'll be busier than I was while serializing, and we see one of the covers. I would love to buy the physical Kubera volumes. I would love it, actually. Then, the audio drama cover has been released. It consists of many side stories that are only available in the audio drama. This audio drama is a work that's been reviewed by me, and all the included side stories were written by me, so you can consider them all original. However, the delivery date has been postponed to April 21st. I'm sorry to those who are waiting for it to be delivered. Then, instead, for those who reserved by March 20th, which was the first pre-order period, they'll be giving away tumblers, which were originally going to be given away through a raffle, to everyone without a raffle. Then additional pre-orders are available until April 15th. If you pre-order now, you'll be entered into a drawing to win a tumbler. If you're interested in the audio dramas, please check this out. Then if you have any questions about finding Currygom, please click here, and the 7th popularity vote's underway if you're interested. So they have already had 7 popularity polls, Empathy 273. There's also a thing down here that says, like, please take care of my cider. I think it's another bonus comic, like we saw before, about the alien invasion or whatever. So I wonder, it was just making me think, reading all of this stuff, the webtoons industry is interesting because it is blown up in recent years. Like, webtoons have gotten really so popular, but they're not treated in the same way that, like, say, manga is. So manga, there are plenty of good manga that don't have English translations officially, which is sad. But for the most part, even manga that aren't that well known usually get like professional level English translations, like really professional level, no real mistakes or anything, and volume releases overseas. But even with all of the massive popularity of webtoons, it seems to be rare or nearly unheard of to get like physical merch, physical releases, and of course physical merch is huge for manga and anime. But then when it comes to manhwa, when it comes to Korean and everything, it seems like it's incredibly rare, at least overseas. And I don't even know how, common it is in Korea. It's really rare for manhwa to be getting physical releases, to get physical merch and everything. And even the translations, when we get it online, I don't like to complain too much because we're getting it officially online for free for the most part. There is like Fast Pass and everything. But I would say that most official webtoons translations, most official manhwa translations, even though they are official, I wouldn't personally say that I would consider them to be at a... And again, this is a harsh thing to say, but it's true. Everybody reading things on webtoons knows that it's true. While they are an official translation, I would not consider them to be a professional level translation. And it might be because they're getting people who just are native Korean speakers that don't speak native English. But there are, again, anyone who reads Korean webtoons knows when it comes to official translations, there's a lot of inconsistency with terminology. There's a lot of really clumsy English. And that's in the best of cases, because in the worst of cases, there's just mistakes everywhere, and it's very, very hard to tell what's going on. And that's not to say that every manga translation is perfect, because manga has a big issue with people sort of deciding they want to change the story and, change it to say what they want it to say. An example that for me is something that I read is, the One Piece translation is one where I definitely always prefer the scans, because the official One Piece translation is, they always try to, spice up the wording and everything, and they just change meanings. It's really cringy dialogue a lot of the time. So I don't really personally like the One Piece official translation, which is why I always read the scans for my videos and stuff, even though I like to read things officially when at all possible. But it like manga has a problem with that, has a problem with not always capturing the meaning or by bad actors joining in and doing a bad localization, but it's not even missing out on the meaning when it comes to a lot of these webtoons translations. It is actually just the English itself isn't very good. The English itself is, you know, grammar mistakes, spelling mistakes, things like that. So it is different. But this whole discussion just got me thinking about even though the industry is like blown up so much and gotten so popular, the lack of, you know, physical support that the industry gets, it's interesting. Because and again, that's one of those things where maybe the numbers look high because everyone's reading for free, but if they tried to do things physically, maybe it wouldn't work out so well. And then even when we do get physical stuff, I'm going to have to bring this up. I'm going to have to bring up unrelated to Kubera, but for any of you interested, Tower of Gods, Korean physical stuff versus the English physical stuff. I'm going to bring that up really quick. I've just pulled up the wiki as an example here. So these are the Korean volume covers. And I wish there was a way to look at these like a gallery, because if I click on the images, it's going to just take me to the volumes instead. Like, look at these covers. This is the volume 1 cover. The volume 2 cover, look at how gorgeous the art is for these covers. Volume 3, incredible stuff. Volume 4, once again, this is how the Korean volumes look. These covers are amazing. And then, in comparison to those, this is the English Volume 1. This is Volume 2. This is Volume 3. Why on earth is... You already have the Korean covers. They're amazing. They look so gorgeous. You could literally just keep them. You don't even have to make anything new. They're already there. You already have them. And yet, when we do get a physical release in English, they replace these gorgeous looking volume covers with this. I don't get it. I really don't get what Webtoons is doing, what Naver is doing, Line, I guess, when it comes to the Webtoons, the manhwa industry. But either way, I guess I can end things here. I don't think there's anything else to read, is there? I kind of went through the Afterword and everything. I already mentioned also what we're going to be getting into next time, so yeah, videos to come. Character ranking will be the next one. Then we'll start season 3. Either way, though, thank you for watching. Like if you did like the video, comment down there too. Tell me what you thought of this, you know, segment of chapters. What you thought of my thoughts and reaction to the finale. Like, comment, subscribe, follow on Twitter if you want. If you want a link to the Discord server, it's free and open for anyone. If you'd like to help support the channel by dropping a super thanks or sharing around, it's extremely appreciated. If you want to help support the channel by I just said that, by becoming a member or patron, you can hit join down below to become a member. Go to patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, or a link will be in the description. And by being a member or patron, not only can you help me to continue to make videos, but also you can, you know, get your name at the end of videos and get One Piece bingo a bit early. So thank you to people who are already members and patrons. Thank you to chosen regulars Evan Hawley and Bertie Wooster, Magical Girls, J.A. and the D-Man, Jaredon Student, David Langstaff, Slayer Candidates, SGN, Stan Cedar, and Pure Elements, Pate Ardial, and Elsa the Storyteller. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.